Do you remember just weeks ago, very recently, the press secretary Karoline Leavitt tried to play a competition with, I guess, herself to see how insane she could get in her gaslighting and how embarrassing she could perform
what a stupid question.
Defenses of Trump. And that came in the form of Trump repeatedly mixing up Iceland and Greenland and her coming out and being like, no, we didn't. And I was thinking that's going to be the most humiliating example of her staring reality in the face and saying, not today, Satan. But we have a more absurd example. So let me remind you of that, and then I'll show you on this racist video her attempt to defend it. But first, you remember Trump did this?
I don't know that they'd be there for us. They're not there for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. I mean, our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland's already cost us a lot of money. But that dip is peanuts compared to what it's gone up.
So he's obviously meaning to say Greenland. Every single person with a barely, like I'm talking barely functional brain knows that. Karoline Leavitt pretended like he didn't say Iceland. She said, no, he didn't, Libby. His written remarks referred to Greenland as a piece of ice because that's what it is. You're the only one mixing up anything up here. And then links to a screenshot of Greenland with ice. And it's like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Karoline. But what did I say before when we covered that? Or I think I did. I've said it before. This is not about convincing you that he didn't make that mistake. It's about virtue signaling to the cult. The lie and pretending like you believe in the lie is a sign of loyalty. And so if you can do that performance of, yeah, he didn't say that, you can signal that you stand with him. It's not really about anyone believing that that makes any sense. And I think that plays a role here as well. Of course, as we reviewed, I'll show you again, Trump posted a video, and in it, he had this horrendously racist depiction of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as apes in a jungle. And in response, Karoline Leavitt says, that's not racist. This is from, she wrote, an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public. So, what? Let's watch.
Joe Biden.
I guess they're saying where that comes from is, you get it. Just the quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button, the simplest, easiest, freest way, completely free, to support the work that we do. Right below the video, click that subscribe button. Back to the video. This is, once again, defend Trump at all costs, however much your own integrity gets degraded. Whoever edited that together, and if Trump watched it, they know exactly what they're doing. Karoline Leavitt knows what she's doing. And she knows that she's being ridiculous in her press conferences. Let's check in on those. Yesterday, she had to answer the question that's confusing a lot of Republicans of why did Trump all of a sudden start defending the Clintons and saying, I don't like that the House Republicans, in an effort to distract from my Epstein revelations, are investigating Bill Clinton and his Epstein connections. And Trump was like, I like Bill Clinton. They shouldn't focus on that. Leavitt was asked about that.
Thank you so much, Karoline. Yesterday, President Trump, in the NBC interview, said that it bothers me that somebody is going after Bill Clinton. That somebody is the House Oversight Chairman, James Comer, a Republican. Why is the president bothered that they're investigating Bill Clinton and his Epstein ties?
Look, I think that the president has respect for the former president of the United States, Bill Clinton. He said yesterday himself they've shared a good relationship, and that's what he was reiterating in that NBC interview.
He gives the game away so much because what Trump is supposed to do, what they set up the strategy for Trump. So think about the House Republicans. They see Trump's name showing up. I think it was Trump or related words like Mar-a-Lago or his New York apartment or something. it was like 38,000 references to Trump associated topics, and then thousands of Trump directly being named in the documents. And the House Republicans are going, okay, we've been acting like we care about this for so long. How do we seem like we're being consistent and investigating this issue, but take the heat off Trump? Well, Bill Clinton is photographed with and associated a lot with Epstein, so let's put all the attention on him. So they start doing that. Trump's supposed to go, yeah, it's actually them who's the bad ones. But he can't help himself going, no. Bill was buddies with Bill didn't do anything wrong. Bill did like 1/10 of what I did. What he's thinking in his head. Why are we going after Bill? Based on what? Oh, shoot. And gives it all away there. Then Karoline Leavitt says this.
From the president tonight at 7 o'clock, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. Happy Super Bowl weekend. The president has wisely chosen not to make a prediction in Sunday night's game, but as a native girl from New Hampshire, go Patriots. Thank you, guys.
Dang it! I was going to cheer for the Patriots. Now I have to cheer for the freaking Seahawks.
Dadgummit.
No. All right. Then you have around all of this, send Tulsi Gabbard and the FBI to dig through Fulton County election facilities and see if they can finally prove that Trump had the election taken from him. You had Karoline being asked this.
On what you said about foreign interference. You talked about 2016 and Russian interference, but what we've learned from these Georgia officials is what was seized by the FBI were ballots from 2020 in this Fulton County election center. Do you have any evidence that there was international interference in the 2020 election in this election center?
What I do have evidence of, and what the media seems to be undermining, is why Tulsi Gabbard is there in the first place. And I would point you again to federal law that clearly assigns the DNI and the office with the statutory responsibility to lead counter intel matters related to election security. This includes assessing risks to election voting systems, software, voter registration databases, and more, and analyzing foreign interference. And the ODNI is responsible for supporting the White House interagency action.
That's all here. No one cares. So what the question was do you have evidence that would necessitate Tulsi Gabbard's presence? Is there international interference that you're investigating? And the funny thing is, probably in Trump's favor, but it's kind of a moot point to hear any of their explanation, because they'll go, well, we're just trying to, when we know what they're actually trying to do, see if they can find anything that they can distort or any bended justification to legitimize Trump's election conspiracies. And then if they say we raided it and we found something, and that means now we can seize the elections in states, which is what Trump said the Republicans should do, nationalize elections, which would be wildly unconstitutional, so that we can run the elections. And then we want to send ICE to patrol around the election site and scare people out of showing up. Oh, you're talking about no, citizens who have the right to vote but don't want to get harassed by ICE agents probably won't go. That's the idea. And that's what this is about. So I don't really need to hear her explanation, because we know exactly what this is really about. Then this was kind of a dumb question.
And just one more about this weekend. At the Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party, after the first two quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny. I must say that. Jennifer.
So here's a little comparison of TPUSA is doing their own halftime show with real Patriots, and then the real halftime show at the Super Bowl will be Bad Bunny. And if you see a little comparison between the two performers, I think Kid Rock and others are performing at the Turning Point USA alternative halftime show, which is like the most snowflakey thing ever. We don't want to watch someone who said something mean about Trump. Or our poor ears will bleed if we hear any Spanish. And I don't even care if I hear the music. My eyes would much rather watch 20 minutes of Bad Bunny than 20 minutes of whatever the hell that is, Kid Rock. And Trump, wants to watch Bad Bunny too. Trump gets very excited by handsome men. We saw that. He called
You're my daddy.
Zohran Mamdani a communist and he was going to destroy New York City. And then the second he was face to face with him, he started melting like a little girl with a crush. And now he loves Zohran Mamdani because he was quoted as saying, wow, you're really handsome or something. And so Trump would prefer watching Bad Bunny over Kid Rock.